first thing would be to elect a committee chairperson. So entertain any motions.
I nominate Maggie Lindbergh to be chairman.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Call the meeting to order at 10:32 a.m., March 14th. We can introduce the committee members. I'll let you introduce yourself. I'll start with Diane Whittler. I'm Purdue University Construction Superintendent.
Jim Alden, AFL-CIO representative.
Dave Lar, taxpayer named by the appointing agency.
Sheen Hall, named by the Purdue County Commissioners.
Jim Taggart, ABC representative.
Okay, welcome to everybody. And the verification of open door compliance. Check. Statement of the committee's purpose. We're meeting to be in accordance with the open door law as required by the Wage Rate Act. We're here to evaluate reports regarding wages paid in the county. We're here to determine the most common wage, including the fringe benefits for each classification and level required by the, it says by the project, but we don't have to list projects anymore. It's really for any project's going to get awarded in the next 3 months. Let's see what else. And so let's talk about overview of the act. This covers most state and local public works projects. So specifically, this hearing is about Purdue University public works projects within Tippecanoe County. Anything that's going to be awarded within 3 months of the date of this hearing. As most of you know, it's a 5-person committee. One representing the awarding agency and AFL-CIO and associated builders and contractors, and 2 taxpayers from the project county, which is Tippecanoe County. Also emphasize that Union Township court case defined common as the mathematical mode. It's not the average mode. It's the number that appears the most often in a list of numbers. Say we don't really go over the view of the projects anymore. We do have that on our website, which shows our upcoming bid openings.
May I ask just a question? None are federally funded, is that correct? None of the project will be federally funded.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay.
If they are, they would be the Davis-Bacon
Thank you. Thank you.
requirement.
Thank you.
We have done some of those
Okay.
here. There's current ones under construction right now. So we can move into the presentation of the data and the testimony. Purdue does not have any data to present. Is there any data from the public who would like to present this time?
I'm Dave Bretmacher with the Tippecanoe County Building Trades. I'd like to just say that I represent the carpenters local here in the area. I've got a list here of all the locals and how many members we have that work in the Tippecanoe County area, that live and work in this area. Just like I said, I've been a member for 25 years, and I've done a lot of work here in Tippecanoe County and here on Purdue University. And just like to say that I would support the wages for us. I have a book here for anybody that would like it.
Thank you.
Data from the AFL-CIO representative.
Yes, I have both heavy and highway and building wage schedules that I'd like to present. These are current and will remain current through the end of these projects.
Are you March the 14th, Jim?
Yeah,
Pardon?
Are you March the 14th? Is that the one you've got?
Yes.
okay, they've already sent it to Purdue. It's
Oh,
already
we
included
already
in the
did.
packet.
Okay.
We've got both of them in
All
this
right.
packet.
Right. Yep, commercial and heavy highways are included.
Okay, and I'd also like to send out a handout. Signatory contractors that's worked over at Purdue University. then for the projects of Tippecanoe County, we have them listed here also. David, you already had them, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm. And I believe since 2001 to present, there's been 1,192 wage settings that's taken place for Tippecanoe County. And I actually have those all right here. And of those 1,192, 7 of them was not set. 50 of them was set with another wage scale, but that actually matched the AFL-CIO. None was set with the ABC, and the remaining 1,135 was set with AFL-CIO wages. And I'd also like to present wage affidavits from our members from a number of different crafts. And I would be happy to answer any questions.
What period of time was that again?
From 2001 to, I believe it was September of 2012.
What is these? This is a database that the Department of Labor keeps. You can search for any kind out there.
So those are Department of Labor statistics?
Yes.
Just like this, when we get done with this hearing, we have to submit our results back to the Department of Labor, maintain the database. Are there any questions? I'm just spot checking here a little bit.
Okay.
There's no other questions. We can move on to the data from ABC.
Good morning, my name is Jim Tiger, I represent the ABC. If you pass this down to, I appreciate it. There we are. That is my appointment, saying that the president of the ABC has appointed me to be a representative of this hearing. As I would remind all my fellow hearing individuals that anything that is presented in this hearing is now and will be public documents. Any documents submitted must be kept by the awarding agency. So any documents that are submitted must be kept as public record under the open door and public access law. So anything that I present or my counterparts or anybody on the committee presents now becomes public record. Therefore, the university has to keep those in file in case there's a public access request to those documentations. So with that, I would like to pass out, this is just kind of a beginning of a PowerPoint presentation. Thank you. PowerPoint without the PowerPoint.
Thank you.
Let me explain what happened. Back in legislative session, back in the short session, back in 2011, what had happened is that the legislature and several of the, let's just say several of the merit shops around the state thought it would be in the best interest, including the legislature, because they wrote it and passed it, and the Governor Daniels signed it into law, What they did is that since the majority of the workforce in the state of Indiana, the construction workforce is non-union or merit-based shops, the legislature decided that as of effective of July 1 of 2011, that the Department of Labor member that was on the board would be replaced by ABC. Now, ABC is the largest representative of merit-based shops. Now, they represent merit-based contractors, not employees, but merit-based contractors. So what happened is then we, as the ABC, were giving a voting position on the committee and would be able to present documentation for consideration of the committee. The legislature thought, as I said, that 74% of the workforce and 89% of the contractors are non-union or merit-based. Now that's in the state. Now that document, those numbers can be found on the website. They can be found under the Department of Workforce that carries those statistics. And unfortunately, one of your competitors, IU, keeps those statistics under what they call Indiana Search, Indiana Statistics Search. Now, the statute, we got to understand, and I want to make this clear, and I do in all my meetings, because we kind of, both of us on both sides, kind of get off the path here to why we're here. We're here for the sole decision on basing what the common wage is paid in this county of all construction workers. That's the way the bill was written. Of all construction workers, not just construction workers on a public funded project. That's very important to keep that in mind, okay? I was in a meeting yesterday and it was assumed that it was just on public funded projects. It's construction workers of the entire county working no matter what it is. And that's either where if it's a union-based contractor or non-union-based contractors. So I just want to make that clear, and that's what the state law says. We're here to do a baseline. That's all this is. We're doing a baseline, determining a baseline that should be paid. A minimum baseline. You can't pay below it, but you can always pay above it. So we're doing a baseline here. There's 310 contractors based in this county. Again, that is, if you go to Indiana Search, under Department of Workforce, they will show that there's 300 licensed contractors. They even go into the fact, you can go on there, you can find who they are, how many employees they have, what the revenue base is, everything. And if you go on there, you can see it without a doubt. 27 of those contractors pay union rates. Therefore, the vast majority, 91% of the contractors and their employees are paid on a merit basis in this county, according to the state records. According to the state, that's Department of Workforce. Now this, what I'm going to say, is an average. It's not a mobile. I just want to make that very clear to everybody here. It is an average that the annual construction salary wage in this county is $42,000. Now, I have a document here that I pulled from the Department of Workforce that will show that. Again, that is an average, okay? So based on those two facts, we feel that our surveys that we send around to our merit-based shops and their response, because of that, we feel that that is pretty much dictates what of that county, of all construction workers, get paid. Again, this is a threshold in case law, and there is case law right now. There have been 3 basic lawsuits that have been brought against this procedure. No matter if it's union or non-union, doesn't matter. It's a lawsuit. 3 of them. Right now, the record right now is 2-1. 2 in our favor, 1 in the union's favor. In fact, there was a lawsuit that was just thrown out by the judge here 3 weeks ago, and my colleague here was a part of that hearing before the judge, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? Were you part of that lawsuit?
I was not directly involved.
Okay, but you, okay, I'm sorry, I apologize, that lawsuit. That case was thrown out, it was based on, again, the mobile. So the judge threw out the case, and it continued on. It was a county here in the state of Indiana. So this has been brought up through the legal channels. And again, it's right now, it's 2-1 right now. Tomorrow it might be 2-2, it might be 4-2, who knows? That's on down the line, who knows what the judicial decides to do. So that is just a basic outline of that part of the presentation. Here I'm going to hand out, this is what we send around, just so you know, that we send around to our membership. This is what we call, that we send around our survey. Our members then send this back to our president of our association. Therefore, he's able to make the modal calculation based on the response from merit-based shops. Now, let me say this in this line, that union contractors, and I'm not talking about union contractor workers or union members, union contractors that pay collective bargaining wages, okay? There's only one modal. That's the modal that has been decided under collective bargaining. That's it. That's all it is. So we got to remember, in this procedure here, the union-based contractors are not representative here for the purpose of determining. The determination of wages is based on collective bargaining, okay? So what happens is that there's only one rate. So there's no really true, it is a true modal because it's only one rate. That's all they got to do. That's all they have to present is one rate, which is normal because it's collective bargaining. When we get these back, these surveys back, we are able to determine the modal based on the number of surveys that we get back. That could be 1, or it could be 5, it could be 4, okay? The information, and let me, this is going to come up, and I'm sure that I'm going to be asked this question. Well, prove that what you just gave us is correct. Well, here's a problem, situation that we get into here, because we represent contractors and we do not represent the workers. The problem we have here is that those shops that have decided to work or construct under the common, or under the agreement, under the union agreements, they understand that their wages, are public knowledge or public information, because they have to be. That's the bottom line. They have to be publicized. That's the law. So when they compete against each other, they know what each other pay. Bottom line. Our members are, as I stated before, merit-based shops. Because of that, when they submit their surveys to us, and we come into these meetings and then display what they pay their employees, I can guarantee you they will never submit another survey to us again. Because you got to understand, they compete based on their bottom line. Their bottom line is wages is a determining factor of their bottom line when they submit bids. So the point I'm trying to tell you here is that I will never divulge what our people, that our members, or anybody, I will not divulge those wages, because it becomes an unfair competitive advantage, because this is public information. So, and I have Don here, who is a merit-based shop here in this county, and as I can tell him I know he submitted a survey. I will not divulge in this group what he pays his employees. So that would be an unfair competitive to everybody else in this county who bids contracts that are non-union contracts. So that's why we don't present that. Now, the mere fact that I'm here and I present that to you, I'm bound under state requirements that we meet that mode. The ABC is bound under state requirement that we met that provision. If that's not the case, then there would be probably 150 or 200 lawsuits within this state that would say that our mode is not accurate. Believe me, that would be the case. Because we're talking big dollars here, so that would be the case. So, the mere fact that the state legislature put us on this committee to determine common wages says it in itself that when we present this to you, that we have met the mode requirements. If not, again, it would be in a court of law, numerous courts of law. So, I'm going to pass out another here. Again, here is the, and again, this comes out Department of Workforce. This is the, oh, I'm sorry, this is the average. Again, this is not the mobile. This is the average that the state says that a construction employee averages in this state, and it's an average. It's not a mobile, okay? I want to make that very clear. So that is from the state of Indiana, not from us, but from the state of Indiana for Pacific Canoe County. Here is another presentation, just a short one here, another presentation. This is comparison of presented data. It's open to anyone. When we present this, as it says, it's open to anybody. Centered around their collective bargaining agreements with the union. Ours are centered around our membership in some of those, and we do have responses even from those who don't respond, who are not members. And I want that to be clear that not every contractor in this county is a member of ABC. I want to make that very clear. Okay, very, very clear. We have met the statutory and case law requirements. County-specific 3 classifications, including fringe benefits in the modal calculation, as does the union. They have met that same line. ABC is the largest organization representing merit shops in the sector, which we now are the majority of the contractor volume and the source of workers. Now let me say this, and I'm sure that there'll be some pushback in this county that there's more construction by merit-based shops. I'm talking total construction, not just, not just public sector construction. I'm talking about total construction from this county. It is done by more merit-based contractors, and they know, and a lot of them don't come from this county. They could come from anywhere in the state. All right, so, but we have merit-based belonging to our organization, and the note that we got, the surveys we got, came back from those that are in this county. In fact, some on that list right there that was given by my counterpart, or my associate over here, my counterpart over here, some of those that are listed are not in this, those contractors are not based in this county. They might work in this county, but they're not based in this county. The ABC represents management. There is limited access to workers' information. We as an association are not permitted under law to access that information at all. W-2s, whatever the case might be. Union, since they are not associated with the contractor, if they so want to get signatures from their employee or from other union members, employees give up that right, which they do when they sign and certify that they're being paid, so be it. They they can then, the union-based group can give out that data because those individual employees have signed their right to publicly state what they're being paid. In many cases, the wage affidavits that are presented by the union do not match the public reports. I'm not saying that happens in this county, but it's happened in the state meetings that I've been in. Fringe benefits amounts are questionable. Compliance to statute, i.e. contributions to third parties, or contributions to funds that go subsidizing union contractor bids and other projects. Not all crafts are documented with specific county information. Now, again, I'm not saying that happens in this county, but it has happened. Here, and let me make this, since we, and they have presented since back in 2001, you got to understand that we just started, as of 2011, we just started sitting on this committee. And the fact is that since we have been sitting on this committee and making these presentations, and I have a printout of those that we have been awarded basically in 2012 and basically since 2013. Now, since the year 2012, since we've been basically a full year, we've had almost $350 million in projects awarded to ABC. In the first 2 months of 2013, since we've been a part of this process, or this due process, we have been awarded over $100 million in projects. Now, based on if we keep going like we are, and of course, political subdivisions as they get money to construct, that means we're going to double what we did in 2012 if we continue on this course. So, like I said, as we get into this process, and I'll pass this out to you, just take a quick look at it. Because we've been given a voice, and I said this, and I don't want to be repetitive, but all these people that have voted ABC, I mean, again, the big question is, do we meet the node? And this is only for this county. These are other counties specifically involved. And there's never been a public project, to my recollection, that's ever been voted ABC in this county. Don, is that pretty accurate? Okay. So we're here, now that we have a position on this board and we presented this information. We feel that we meet the mode based on the total workforce of this community, not just a separate group of this, but the total workforce of this community. I will send these down to you. Again, these come off the Department of Labor. And again, all of these, a lot of towns, cities, school systems have adopted the ABC. Now let me say this, anybody can come in this meeting and present a mode, anybody. Doesn't need to be ABC or anybody can come in here and present wages. As long as they meet the mode, so be it. They can do it. Sometimes that happens. So I pretty much have probably taken as much time as I need to take. I know there is some concern, but again, I'm not here to divulge our members what they pay their employees. Not going to do it because we never get any survey back. Put them at an unfair competitive advantage. Those contractors who have decided to work union much, they've waived that, they've waived their right to have their salaries